Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Furman Football Weekly with head coach Clay Hendricks, the playoff edition of our get-together. Furman will be entertaining Chattanooga in the second round of the FCS playoffs. The Paladins, of course, the number 7 seed and coming off of a bye in the first round. Rematch of the regular season matchup that Furman won 17-14 in Chattanooga. We have with Coach Hendricks defensive lineman Matt Sachoka, quarterback Tyler Huff. And as always, we'll ask Coach Hendricks to make an opening statement and then let Scott Keeler ask the first question. Coach?
Thank you, Dan. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know for us, getting the bye was greatly needed in lots of areas. That gave us a little chance to reflect on. I know for me, I told our team yesterday just to have a chance to reflect on what a great regular season we had. Excited to certainly have a chance to play for a national championship. 16 teams left, 3 upper Southern Conference teams. I feel they'd probably find some way to match 2 of them up in the second round. But no, we're just happy to be playing. Got back to work yesterday. Today's off day for the players, and playing an outstanding Chattanooga team. I said it before, said it after. Most complete team was played. When you look at them offense and defensively, and what they do special teams wise, and really good players, really well coached. I think one of the great things will be a Southern Conference team in Final 8. So we're going to try to do everything we can to see if that make that be us. Just need to have a great week of practice. Certainly the bye helped us a lot health-wise. I think we've been 7 straight. I think 4 of the last 6 on the road. I thought we had maybe as tough a stretch as anybody had. That was welcome. I think a chance to get away. Didn't have to look at each other for a few days. We got some work in last week as we prepped really for both opponents. At the time, we didn't know who it would be, and not surprised at all that it's Chattanooga. And we'll have to certainly be at our very best this week to have a chance to advance. Again, it's what you play for, it's where we want to be, and our guys will be excited to go play. So with that, any questions you may have?
Coach, I want to go back just a little bit. Obviously, this point was last Saturday, but then some good things happened to you with the excitement with the selection show, and then all the postseason honors for your team. And I just want to ask about that a little bit, because this is such a team-oriented team. Lots of times, the stats maybe don't get what other guys get, but for Tyler to be recognized, and obviously for Jake as well, and you being a former offensive lineman, and Furman kind of being the home to the Jacobs Blocking Trophy winners in the Southern Conference. What does those 2 in particular mean for you?
Well, I think Tyler's probably a great example. Tyler played basically 8 games. Think about that, really played 8 games, and the coaches made him player of the year. So I think that's what they thought of him as a player. And certainly we're a better team because of him being on our team, and so certainly happy to get him back healthy. I think I tell our players it's great to give guys awards. I tell them from the very start, guys that want to do that, want to be all conference players, want to be all, that's a great deal. Just can never come over the team side of it. I think our guys are great examples of that. Jake, I thought he's been the best lineman in our league for several years personally. They don't really ask my opinion. I make a recommendation, just like we nominate guys. I can't vote for my own guys. I think that speaks volumes for the job Matt McCutcheon's done, and certainly what Coach Roper's done, and then defensively, just again, the number of guys we had that made that team. So we certainly take a lot of pride in that. We saw along, got some good players, and I think it's a little tougher sometimes, especially defensively. We don't have statistics some other guys have because of the number of people who play. But again, I think it's great for them. And I think the other thing is, I think one of the things I've told them, if you want to be one of those kinds of players, usually the best thing that helps you is to be on a really good team. And they're on a conference championship team. And again, I think the biggest thing, it just gave us a chance to reflect back a little bit. I think everybody certainly was disappointed how the season ended that last week, but it didn't take anything away from what our guys have accomplished. I think, somebody made a couple mentions about us rolling through the season. I'm like, I don't think we rolled through. You go back through that season, man, and there was hardly probably with the exception of the VMI game, played really well in the first half, where we were able to, maybe relax a little bit in the second half. I don't know if any other game was that way. And this one Saturday certainly won't be that way, so. But no, it's been nice to kind of recharge batteries. And let's put that behind us and let's go see what we can do this week.
Coach, just watching the Austin Peay Chattanooga game, how much did you guys get together and watch that as a staff and as a team? And were you surprised at all the lack of maybe pressure that Austin Peay tried to put on Chattanooga? Is that a case of that just not being able to do it, or that they weren't really scheming to do that?
Well, we spent a lot of time on both teams, the little bit we were here last week. And to be honest, we probably spent a little more time on Austin Peay just because we didn't know much about them. And they're a little different. Chattanooga, certainly, we know each other pretty well. I think maybe it's a little bit of the nature of how Austin Peay plays defense. It's just a little bit of their philosophy defensively. And I think Chattanooga, playing with a young quarterback, really somebody reminds me a lot of Carson Jones. I think they did a really good job of kind of protecting him. I think the coaches tried to protect him. Certainly some of the things they asked him to do. He moves around well. He's athletic. He's poised. You can see that about him. And he's pretty accurate with a good arm. And I just think they were probably smart in how they used him. It wasn't like he was dropping back, and doing, and obviously they weren't going to do that against Alabama when he played. So I think it's a little bit of a, good job of them putting him in a position where he could be successful. I think the whole key was they ran the ball well. When you run the ball well, it creates lots of opportunities for you. But Chattanooga, Austin Peay had trouble stopping their run. And then they could kind of mix in the throws and protect it a little bit in that regard.
I think everybody, most importantly players and coaches, but everybody related to Furman has sort of taken the attitude about the Wofford game. Well, let's learn from this and move on. Matt, what'd you learn from it?
Can't take anybody lightly, but we put it to bed. I think having the selection show was big and just kind of moving past it. Obviously, it's not the way we wanted to end it, but all you can do is move on. And I think what our AD did at the selection show was pretty cool. He was like, everybody just realized, the special season you had, that loss doesn't define the season you had. We accomplished all the goals we wanted to accomplish, and it's a new season, so we get to turn the page.
Advantage, Clay, or disadvantage of having to play someone as well as Chattanooga for a second time? And knowing that they know you as well.
I don't know. There's two really good teams, and I think we're built similarly in how we both try to play really good defense, and we have. We both want to run the ball. I don't really know. Certainly, I've been a Red Hunter. I know I've been probably most part of those rematches. I don't know. I think it's certainly beat somebody twice is probably a little more of a challenge. I think our guys last year, I never forget, I think one of the disappointments last year was that they saw they weren't going to go to Sanford in the second round because they wanted that. And Chattanooga may feel the same way, but I think you'll kick it off. That'll be something to talk about for the game. You'll kick it off and all that's forgotten. So you can go execute, play offense and defense, but I guess it's a good thing to talk about during the week.
Matt, you were alive the last time this team played for a national title. What were your memories when you were 2 years old of that Furman, Montana game? No, how do you, in the experience you've had in the postseason, what kind of lessons have you learned about it in terms of you personally and, letting some of the younger guys know what to prepare for this week?
Well, when you get to this point in the season, everybody's a good team. Everybody's been through the ringer. Everybody's been in close games. But I guess unfortunately for us, every game we've been in, it's been a dogfight. So we've kind of been playing playoff football since the beginning of the year. I think especially with the target that's been on our back. So I guess more so this year, it's kind of felt like a playoff game every week because we knew what our goals were. So yeah, just taking every game as a new game, and it's a new season. So.
Tyler, how are you feeling, and how difficult was it not to be able to play for a while?
I'm feeling good. Recovery's been well, rehab's been well, and yeah, it's difficult. I try my best to, stay in tune and help Carson as much as I can. Being on the sidelines. But yeah, it was difficult playing. Obviously, BMI was much easier. Blowout win. Those are always fun to be a part of. But yeah, Wofford was tough. But best thing is that this team hasn't forgotten about that. I think a lot of that pain and anger and kind of embarrassment that we felt, we're excited to let that come out and up against somebody else. So we're excited about it.
Matt, what's been different about the defensive line since that Stanford game, really? You guys have really seemed to have been in a rhythm. And what are you doing differently, and how are you being so successful?
I know a couple weeks ago I talked about us getting rid of the NASCAR package, but really it's really just been, I guess, a mindset. When we got to Stanford on the schedule, we knew what the task at hand was. We had the toughest road schedule to go in the SoCon, and up front we knew we got to dictate this game because we're going to go against some good quarterbacks. So really just taking our game to the next level, and our back end got a lot of flack in the preseason, for not being as good in coverage, but that starts with us up front. So I think you've seen them both complement each other, throughout the back end of the season.
Tyler, have you had enough time back, enough practice time to not just be healthy, but to not be rusty? Are you concerned at all about time off affecting you that way?
No, sir. I practiced a little bit last week and then practiced yesterday, and I'll practice the rest of the week. I know by then, by Saturday, I'll be ready to go. There was some rust at the beginning, but yeah, I'll be all right. Get everything back normal.
Matt, we think this is finally gonna be your last year. We think, maybe, who knows? But for seniors, for graduate players who this is it, knowing that now it could be a one-game career. Pat, how do you approach that? How does that make you feel? If indeed it is.
Yeah, man. I think even like yesterday at practice, we brought it up for stretch, and everybody's hooting and hollering because, man, you just don't know how many of those moments you got left. And when you got 41, 42 seniors, like, this is the last time, realistically, this is the last time you're gonna be with your brothers all in one place for the last month and a half. So really, it's about winning games, but it's really about let's not end these moments we have together as a brotherhood, And I think that's really what's gonna fuel our team into the playoffs. Is we don't wanna not be together anymore.
Coach, Chattanooga was down several key guys Saturday, it seemed like. And how do you kind of approach preparing? Does that change your preparation at all when you got the quarterback, maybe, who knows, his situation, when their best defensive player might be out, or any preparation changes on that?
Well, yeah, you pay attention to that, certainly. A person didn't play the second half. What a great player he is. He seems like he's been playing for like 10 years, but I don't know. I think he's like our guys. He'll find any way he can to go play, so I fully expect him to be playing. The quarterback, now, I don't really know what the total injury is with Artovius, but the kid's played against Alabama, and he played the playoff game on the road, so he's been pretty tested, pretty well. I think probably the Alabama game was probably easier for him than the Austin Peay game was, just because, what's at stake. But he played well. They stayed, pretty, I think lost an outside backer a couple weeks ago. He was a really good player. I don't know what his stats is. I don't know that he changed anything a whole lot. We need to be more concerned of ourselves. The last game was kind of certainly an odd game, losing Tyler, maybe second play of the second quarter. We lost Hugh Ryan halfway through the first quarter for the whole game. Carson coming in, never having played. I remember that game. It took about a quarter and a half to kind of figure out because the whole game plan changed a little bit from what we had. So we thought we could go back and pull a bunch of that game plan. We didn't use it. I think Justin went through it and said, well, we didn't call any of this stuff that we had ready to go. So it'll be a little bit of a mixture of that. But yeah, I think that's part of it. I'm certainly people plan for us a little different based on who the quarterback is. I don't think either team changes vastly, based on who's in there. So I think both of them were pretty system kind of oriented. That's what they'll do. And I know this, he didn't play the second half, and they did a good job to still win the game. So they got good players everywhere.
So for Matt and Tyler, you got experience in the playoffs. Do you feel better about having already experienced that and the approach any differently just because you've already played in the playoff game before?
No doubt, it's nice to have experience. But I think one thing we learned last year playing that first round game against Elon is the playoffs are so much about momentum. And having the first round bye, kind of like being in the position Incarnate Word was, like, you're playing a team that just won a playoff game. You know what I mean? So they got some momentum going, and we're coming off a bye. So the challenge is for us to match their intensity and just get the ball rolling. No time for rust.
Yeah, I agree. It's challenging, especially coming off a bye, because you're not, even just that 1 week off, you do get some rust on you. But like Matt said, I know Chat's hot right now. They won a playoff game, a game that a lot of people didn't think they would win. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're confident right now, and they want this game back just like we wanted Sanford back last week. So it'll be tough.
Coach, how hard is it, or easy it may be, to deliver the message that you just take it one game at a time at this point in the season? I mean, you get to this, and human tendency is always to overlook and just look at the whole bracket. But how hard is that, or easy has that been for you with these guys?
Well, we'll see. I thought we had good prep last week. I don't know, we got a really better group, so that's not a concern that we have at all. I think at the end of the day, you gotta go prepare, you gotta go really prepare. We didn't change anything. Sometimes with the bye, we worked ahead. Maybe we would've done a little more today, but we kept our week exactly as we have all. We came back yesterday, did pretty much what we've done on Sunday. Other than we didn't have to watch a game, we watched, their game. And then, we just need to have 3 really good days of prep. But, at the end of the day, you gotta prepare, and you gotta, I remember talking to Matt after, that last game we played. People will say what they want, overlook, there's a lack of execution, and we hadn't had a fumble since the first game. And we fumbled a ball that they didn't cause the fumble, it was a self-inflicted wound, and they scoop it, it was 2 4th and 1s, really the determining factor, but you gotta be able to go execute, we talk all the time here just about toughness and execution and discipline, and I didn't question our toughness, I didn't question our discipline, I think we just execution wise, and there's some missing parts there, and we kind of played both part of the last 3 games without our quarterback and our 2 lead rushers, because he's one of those, and so that makes it a little challenging to overcome, and we should have been able to do it. Absolutely should have been able to do it, but we did, so you just kind of learn from it. So we just need a great week of prep. We gotta go play well, but you won't win this game without playing really well. You won't win any game going forward without playing really well.
Tyler, you have spoken about the fact that in your past, you had never won anywhere, not at high school, not at PC. When you look back, was the Elon game last year a special memory for you because that was the first time you were out there playing a playoff game for a potential championship?
Absolutely, yeah, that was huge. I never had a winning record all through high school or college until last year coming here. The best I did was 5-5 in high school one year. So, and they've been to the playoffs. Winning the first playoff game was obviously very special. It was a very exciting moment, but I know there's more to come. So I'm excited to win another one.
He also has a chance to go undefeated in the SoCon on Saturday, just as a reminder in his career. Just letting you know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you say that, and yet you're 18-3 as Furman starter and 17-1 against FCS teams. So, I mean, that says winner.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I think too many people give me too much credit. All these guys were already here. They just needed somebody to help out and facilitate a little bit. I mean, like I said, the pieces were here, the coaches were here. I think, like I said, too much people give me throw that record out and think it's all me. I promise you it's not. These guys were here. There's a reason everybody stuck around because, I mean, they knew they could do it, and I think they just needed one more little piece, and you know, throw it around a little bit. That was it, but yeah.
Coach, for you and Tyler, and I suppose you could say this about every facet of the game, is it fair to say that you're still looking to play your best offensive game of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I look through, you know, we talk about that a lot. We talk about it too much, but, no, absolutely. You know, it's certainly trying to play your best one against one of the best defenses you play against would be a challenge. But, you know, again, it goes back to us, you know, and again, for us staying balanced, you know, and having to be able to run the ball. We didn't run the ball very well the first game. Again, some odd circumstances kind of happened in that game, but we'll need to, and absolutely you should play your best. I always say in the playoffs, you don't even have to be the best team, you gotta play the best. And, you know, for 3 hours Saturday, we need to go play really, really well. And, I think we're certainly capable of doing that. I think we're pretty healthy for this time of year. It had been a challenge last week a little bit, but I think, you know, certainly that week was huge for us, and some of our players have earned. So I think for us, it was just having, you know, that was a big deal for us having a chance to get by. You know, people remember Chattanooga played 10 straight when they played us the last time, and then they had to buy them the following week, and I don't imagine they probably did a whole lot that week as they got ready for Alabama. We were talking to Rusty before the game, you know, about what their week was gonna be like. So they had a chance to hit a little bit of a reset button. They got in, they deserved to be in. I went back to my poll, I think I had them from 9 to 12, somewhere right in there on my last vote, just because I felt like they'd done that. Here we are with 3 teams in the final 16. You know, I think, you know, we were able to get a victory over those 2 teams, you know, which I hope gives us some confidence, you know, of the bunches in here. And it'll be a challenge. If you go play and you don't play well on Saturday, you're gonna be home next week. And really, that's what it's all about.
Any final thoughts from either of the players before we get into wrap-up mode? Breaking news, Massachusetts doesn't have anything to say.
You know, we gotta see, we might have.
Coach, your final thought?
Yeah, no, just excited to be playing. Again, a lot of respect for Chattanooga and everything about their program. They have a long history with them, and I don't know too many games against them have been easy. So this will be a little bit of a, I guess people use that broad term. It'll be that kind of game Saturday. 2 really good teams. You know, again, it'd be cool if somebody, some guy's gonna be in 5 late. We certainly hope that's us, but we need to just grab a great week of practice and go put it together on Saturday and have a chance to go get one.
Well, we will remind folks that tickets are available at FurmanPaladins.com. We'd love to have as many people in Paladin Stadium on Saturday as possible. It's a 1 o'clock kick. Game will be televised on ESPN Plus. And of course, we'll have the radio broadcast for you on the Fan Upstate, 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 in Spartanburg, and on the Odyssey app, beginning with the Pepsi countdown to kickoff at 11:30.